It's a dream chased by thousands of Brits each year.
Number one's the weather.
Heading to Europe to set up new lives and businesses in the sun.
Are you ready?
They're seduced by gorgeous scenery.
It's just about the space out here. There's so much space.
Year-round sun and a better, cheaper way of life.
Our living room in London, you'd fit in 4 times.
But how easy is it to turn the dream into a reality?
Money's dripping in and flooding out.
In this series, we follow those expats as they say goodbye, Blighty.
I think a pole.
And begin their new lives. Setting up bars and restaurants in Spain.
That's what we're talking about, girlfriend.
Gîtes and B&Bs in France.
Totally and utterly out of my depth.
When nothing is ever as simple as it sounds.
It's probably not good for my blood pressure, yes.
It can fail, but it won't fail. Not if I've got anything to do with it.
On today's show, a wannabe captain has to learn the ropes.
Roger, pull the end, pull the rope end.
A little bit short-tempered. Started to swear at his crew.
Can he make the grade?
Not doing very well, are we?
No, we are not.
The Vineyard opening a pop-up restaurant.
Trying to get this knife in, and I'm trying not to slip because it goes straight through my hand.
Where there are some first-night nerves.
They are trusting me quite a lot. Obviously, it's their reputation on the line, and we really want to impress them.
And 2 French B&B owners host a Mad Hatter's tea party.
We found out who stole the tart.
But will Alice in Wonderland actually turn up?
I didn't realise it was going to be so bonkers.
What's with his head?
The Dordogne in France. 9,000 square kilometres of unspoilt beauty, where rivers wind through chic towns and quaint villages, where spectacular countryside and exceptional scenery are the norm. The landscape is dotted with hundreds of chateaux. It's a region known for its friendliness and a laid-back lifestyle that is the envy of the world. Joe Gell and partner Alice Barnett moved here 8 months ago and are now running a successful restaurant and B&B with a king, 2 doubles and a twin bedroom.
I love France and I absolutely love living in the countryside. I woke up this morning and I drove down to Vertiac and it just looks like a postcard. And sometimes you forget to think how lucky you are.
No, we think France is amazing and we're really committed to being part of the community and we learn French and we speak French. I love it.
But although their fledgling business is doing well, they're still not making enough money. So they're planning a novel event to bring in customers on Mondays when every other restaurant around is closed.
If we whack the tables together, then let's see.
Let's see how long we are.
They're planning a sumptuous feast, but this will be no ordinary dinner.
Right, enough.
Later today, the couple are holding a Mad Hatter's tea party based on the story of Alice in Wonderland. And they're going all out to put on a real show.
If anybody turns out expecting a normal dinner service, I think they might be a little bit baffled.
Friend Pete, who'll be starring as the Mad Hatter, has been handing out flyers in the local town. And now Joe and Alice are expecting a full house.
We've had loads of people book in over the last couple of days, so we're now up to about 35, which is perfect for us.
At €25 a head, they're hoping the party will be profitable and that they'll be able to roll it out throughout the summer.
Always a little bit nervous as to how it's going to go, because it's our first time, and so I think this thing will, hopefully it'll progress over the summer and we'll get better and better and, you know, sort of put new ideas in and stuff like that.
For today, it's all about the weird and wonderful, so Joe has come up with a rather unusual menu.
Pink onions, yellow courgettes, yellow raspberries, a carrot. Really, really pleased with all the produce I found this morning. We've got everything in the wrong colour, which I think is great. We're sort of doing grown-up party food. I was going to get blue potatoes, but I sort of drew the line at that.
Thankfully, this culinary capital of France is perfect for picking up such unusual produce. And with a hog roast already cooking outside, it's all systems go.
Yeah, once I get that produce in and we start working with it, that's when I get excited. And actually, even though we've got a lot to do, and we do really, really have a lot to do, I actually feel like it's going to be good and it's not going to be an absolute shambles.
And they're not just relying on the food tonight. As well as Pete, the Mad Hatter, there's a rather obvious role for Alice.
We were trying to look for Alice in Wonderland costumes online, and they were all either massive floppy dresses or children's or a little bit on the risque side, which I really didn't want. So I ordered one, and then it arrived this morning. And everybody saw it arriving, so I can't pretend it's not him.
But at least the Mad Hatter's here.
Ah, it's Pete.
When you think you've got everybody.
And former actor Pete has a script all worked out.
Everybody, follow me. Let's wake up the Mad Hatter.
Ooh, okay.
Go down here.
Knock the door. And so then you turn around to the people and say, wake the Mad Hatter up. Come with me and we'll go on a walk together. And
But this Alice just wants to run off in the opposite direction.
Oh, directing it. I wasn't really expecting the performance. He knows how much I hate it. He's dragging me into his show now. And I don't want to do it.
Off with his head!
I didn't realise it was going to be so bonkers. I want to go and hide.
Now I need the other 18 jam jars.
The guests are just minutes away. Joe and Alice are still preparing starters and have to lay the tables. Will they be ready on time?
And we literally have 10 minutes to sort this out.
Off with his head!
La Duquesa. A stunning marina, white sandy beaches and traditional architecture combine to make this town the Costa del Sol's best-kept secret. Like the rest of the region, it also benefits from year-round sun with summer temperatures soaring to 40 degrees. This is where Jerry Ferguson and Heather Walker are hoping to make a new life by running a fishing charter business.
The cost of living here is a hell of a lot less. I mean, you can do a family shop here for €100, which is 80 quid. But the quality of life here's 10 times better.
I love the Spanish music.
Yeah.
I like the Spanish language. I like their attitude towards people and their attitude towards life. It's not like back home.
No.
It's much nicer.
So far, things haven't exactly been plain sailing for this former pub landlord and ex-plasterer Heather. It's now at the back end of the season and their business is still not up and running. Yesterday, they spent 4 hours stranded at sea when both engines failed on the boat they planned to charter.
I mean, it was frustrating yesterday because I was just about to take control, or take over the controls of the boat just as the first engine started playing up.
The Fatam was towed back to the harbour. Today, Jerry and owner Gary need to get to the bottom of the problem, and fast.
Good morning, Gary. How are you? She's looking lovely as usual.
Every day Fatam is out of action. Jerry can't make money.
Temperature, you're in neutral. You've got 27 volts, so we should be ready to fire. Turn over.
So, why won't the engines turn over?
Just turn it over. Try to turn over now. Don't know.
Despite the fuel tanks being half full, the engines still refuse to start.
So say code 333 and then engine stop.
We shall get to the bottom of it eventually.
As soon as we figure out what's wrong with it, we'll get it sorted.
Gary calls the boat's mechanic,
We found the filter.
who suggests a costly solution. Filling the tanks to the brim so the pressure in the engine increases. But this will cost €600 and is not a guaranteed fix.
Hoping that the boat's going to get fixed. I hope this is actually what the problem is.
200 litres then.
It's absolutely no use to anybody if the engines won't kick over.
Finally, 500 litres of diesel later, they're ready to start the engines. If they still don't work, Jerry and Heather's fishing charter business could be on the rocks.
Oh, listen to that. Oh. As soon as the pressure built up in the engines, it could drag the fuel through. And once that started, that was it running fine.
Good news for Jerry, but now Gary wants to make sure that the rest of the boat is ship-shape and fit for purpose.
Onwards and upwards. This is an impressive thing to see.
A week later, and the boat is hoisted out of the water for an inspection of its hull.
What does the boat weigh, Gary? Is it 28 tonne?
No, it's about 34.
34 tonnes, which it takes a tonne of fuel and another tonne of water. So it could get when it's fully loaded, It's not bad for a 40-year-old boat, is it?
It's quickly obvious that there are some repairs to carry out, meaning another frustrating delay. But it's in Jerry's interest to get the Fatam back on the water as soon as possible, so it's all hands on deck.
This is anti-fouling and paint. It's a mixture of both. So it stops the organisms growing on the hull. And this goes on, maybe put 4 or 5 coats of this on. Big boat.
And while Jerry and Gary concentrate on the painting...
It's got potential.
Got potential. Picasso.
I don't know what for, but it's got
potential.
Heather is heading over to sort out the essential legal documents to get the business started.
She's away to the Global Nautica, the place in Estepona, to try and hurry them up a wee bit about getting the paperwork through. The quicker the boat's making money, the better for everyone.
Things are slowly moving forward for Jerry and Heather, but it's already August and the money-making window is about to close.
It is getting near the end of the summer season for tourists, but I still think the boat will be busy enough because we're going to advertise it enough. But when I get involved in an venture, I get very personal with it.
If there's one thing France is famous for, it's wine. 50 to 60 billion bottles originate from its vineyards every year. And last year, France was the largest producer of wine in the world. To pursue their dream of running a vineyard, Sue and Humphrey Temperley left behind a life in the UK to set up a wine business in the Dordogne.
The thing with out here is just there's so much space, and we're both basically, we love being in the middle of the country, and that's what we've got here is loads and loads of space, and the space to grow this sort of vineyard we wouldn't be able to afford in England, because land's so expensive.
The sort of area of land we've got and the size of house we have here, it would cost a couple of million in the UK in a nice area. A lifestyle like that is not affordable for us because we've never had that kind of money.
For the first time since moving here, Sue and Humphrey have had a bumper season and have produced more than 120,000 bottles of red wine. Buoyed by their success, they've decided to expand their business. Cook Matt has been working for Humphrey in the vineyard with his girlfriend Katie to gain experience of the winemaking process. But now Sue and Humphrey want to put his culinary skills to good use.
Sue had an idea to do a pop-up restaurant where we do 20 covers a night.
You really have to go a long way to find a restaurant, and everyone that comes here that we have round for supper or something says, what a wonderful place to eat, standing on the terrace. And then Matt came along, and it turned out he'd been in the hospitality trade. He's a great cook, that's his great love, is food. And it just seemed like the perfect opportunity.
During the summer, the Dordogne is packed with tourists, so a pop-up restaurant could be a lucrative spin-off, if Matt gets it right.
Well, the catering side is completely his, so anything to do with food, they keep, and anything to do with wine, we just sell the wine directly at the same price as people could buy it here, which for a restaurant is pretty good.
Guests will be seated outside the house, overlooking the acres of vines and the picturesque countryside. And tonight, the restaurant is opening for a trial run for 20 people. So Matt is shopping for ingredients.
So we're in Sainte-Foy-le-Grand market, which apparently has been voted one of the best markets in France. This is the main square of Sainte-Foy, where we are now.
Fortunately for Matt, this market is a chef's paradise. Every week, over 200 producers gather in the village square to sell locally grown produce.
We're going to do a starter of a goat's cheese salad, and then we're going to go into the regional speciality, which is duck breast. I'm going to serve that with confit, croquettes, potato,
And then I'm going to do an assietta dessert and a cheese course as well.
Matt's planning to charge just €15 per person for the 5-course meal, so he needs to shop carefully.
It's going to be very important that I get the budget right on this because we're not charging a great deal. So what it is we're doing a Supper in the Vines pop-up restaurant, and I'm looking to use your goat cheese for the starter. I'm going to be serving about 20 people this evening, so I was thinking kind of this size in half per person.
That's €4.
€4.
And that's the fresh one. It's
That's-
all the same price.
If Matt's trial run goes well, there'll be plenty more trips here, so he decides to try and haggle.
Buy cheese off you every week. Would it be possible to get some kind of a discount?
Yes, sure.
Would that be okay?
All right.
It's up to you, but yeah, that would be great.
I can make 10%.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
It's a good start. He's just saved himself €4.
Then it make 20 and I will give you 2.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Which is just as well, because Matt's also planning to serve up an expensive extra treat tonight, oysters.
So we're here at the fish stall. Just going to get their attention. 2 kilos, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
Je ne suis jamais allée en Angleterre. 2,7 kg. Je laisse?
I think she was saying slightly more. Oh, we're going for 3 kilos. So we're getting a few extra. I need to practice the French there because I've ended up with an extra kilo. But I'm sure we'll find something to do with those extra oysters. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Au revoir.
So Matt spent more than he'd hoped. It's an important learning curve.
And it's good practice for me to be able to get the right amount of oysters next time. So yeah, I'll toss up how much we've earned at the end of this and see how profitable it is. And that'll help us set the price for the rest of the summer as well.
Matt's first food service is in just 6 hours' time. His profit has already been reduced by the oyster mix-up, and now he has 5 courses to prepare. If he gets this wrong, this could be the Vineyard's one and only pop-up restaurant. In the Spanish port of Duquesa, Scottish expat Jerry Ferguson has a big job ahead of him before he can launch his fishing charter business.
Somebody said to me a year ago, you're going to be painting a big 53-foot boat on the Costa del Sol, and I laughed at them.
The mechanical issues with the boat Fatam have been resolved, but now it's been hauled out of the water for some repairs on its hull. Jerry needs to get Fatam back in the water before the end of the summer season, because he and partner Heather aren't willing to give up on their Spanish dream.
And it is beautiful. Look, and I can see the dolphins from here.
The pair pay just €350 a month, about £270 for their apartment overlooking the Med.
Basically, you can just see everything. You can see how peaky the sea is going to be, how you can hear it in the morning. Perfect spot. I love it.
While Jerry races to finish painting the boat, Heather has another vital task that needs to be completed.
The thing is, because I speak Spanish, then it's my thing to actually go in and take over all the paperwork that needs doing.
Heather is off to see a Spanish consultant to discuss the best way of legally setting up the business. The Fatam is registered in the UK, and she's worried that that could cause a problem.
Well, if you're going to go fishing and you want a licence for the boat, you can't be a British boat and fish in Spanish waters. A licence for the whole port is only given to anything that's under a Spanish flag, not under a British flag.
If they do have to switch to a Spanish flag, it will mean more costs and more delays.
Jerry likes to push things forward. We want all this up and running as soon as possible, so for benefit of all.
But when Heather speaks with the local consultant,
Y es de que el barco manteniendo bandera británica permite que cualquier barco de la Unión Europea pueda trabajar aquí en España siempre y cuando o pague los impuestos.
He has some surprising news.
Any boat that's in the European Union has the right to work here in Spain. So we could get away with not having to change anything. You don't have to put a Spanish flag on it, you can keep his British flag.
It's great news. Not having to re-register the boat in Spain has saved them a massive £3,000.
All I need now is the paperwork stating how much that he paid for the boat.
With their luck finally changing, Heather and Jerry decide to go out for lunch to celebrate. But as Heather arrives in the port...
Yeah, I hear you. You're under the boat. Well, this is all locked up. It's got a padlock round it.
Jerry's been so focused on painting that he hasn't noticed he's been locked in.
He doesn't even know anybody's gone anywhere.
Every entrance to the yard has been locked as the Spanish workers have gone out for lunch.
It's a very Spanish thing to do. This is a siesta. Drop tools at 2 o'clock and run like the clappers. I think he's probably been working under there and they've never noticed that he was there, so he's gone. They've just gone and locked up instead. Jerry, it looks like you're locked in.
Jerry calls the owner of the boat, Gary, for help.
I've been locked in. I don't know if that was one of your employees, you know what I mean? Lock the in. No, I've got to climb the fence.
But Gary doesn't have a key. So Heather sets off in search of one.
Buenas tardes, mira, soy Paco, que ha venido una chica amiga de Gary y tal, y dice que están encerrados dentro del varadero. ¿Cómo lo hacen? No, ahora a las 3. Gracias.
A las 3, ahora.
Jerry won't be able to get out of the boatyard for another hour.
But I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm gonna leave him in all night.
Having lost their first boat and then broken down at sea in their second, they can only laugh as their bad luck continues.
Help!
But they hope it's about to change.
You just keep sending food, supplies, water.
Just outside Vertillac, Joe and Alice are about to start their first ever Monday service. And to draw in the customers, they're staging a Mad Hatter's tea party. It should be a great way to earn extra cash, as most other restaurants in the area are closed on Mondays. But now the guests are starting to arrive, and in the kitchen, it's a last-minute dash to get things finished.
Can you send me some drink, me stuff's through, folks? Just one.
Yeah, bring them in. Yep, go.
The Alice in Wonderland themed labels have all been written and are ready to adorn the starters. And now it's time for Alice to reluctantly transform into her namesake.
Not happy. I hate it. It's hideous. Like geriatric Alice. It's horrible. If you have a Mad Hatter's tea party and you've got somebody here that's called Alice, who's going to be Alice apart from me? I hate it. Really hate it.
But on the fancy dress front, it seems partner Joe is getting off lightly.
Don't forget your outfit, Sid.
Can you tie it on? You won't get it up there. Down there, maybe.
No, I don't think I get it. It's meant for a child, I think. OK, darling.
Thank you.
Show us. Yeah, you're in costume now.
I'm very happy, thanks.
Outside, the final guests have arrived. Inside, Joe's been preparing pudding.
The dessert tonight is a load of tarts. Apricot tarts out of town. These are going to be jam tarts and also tarts with creme patisserie and some lovely fresh fruit that we got earlier with all the weirdly coloured bits in it.
Meanwhile, Alice has had a touch of stage fright.
Hot and anxious.
But with everyone seated...
I'm going to bring loads of wine out and pop it all on the table and help yourselves.
Alice takes a deep breath and steps up for her starring role.
I have a Mad Hatter who needs to be woken up. He's gone to sleep and this is his party.
It's the moment Alice really hasn't been waiting for.
Wake up, Mad Hatter! Oh, it is mad. It is mad. It is Mad Hatter.
Ah, you've come. At last.
Thankfully, Pete, the Mad Hatter, has for now taken the spotlight off Alice. And now the hog roast dinner is ready just in time for the hungry guests.
Can't actually undo the bolts to get it off, so... Piece of pig.
Stormers, listen. The buffet is now open. Through that door, you enter, and believe it or not, come out of that door. How many of you will get that wrong?
The menu is a multicoloured feast with couscous, potato with samphire, goat's cheese salad, and a special purple carrot dish too, together with the hog roast and sweet corn. And Joe and Alice's guests are loving it.
Some asparagus.
Don't touch pig.
The dinner's gone down well. Time for dessert, and for Mad Hatter Pete to step up again.
I think I might have found out who stole the tarts.
No.
I think I found them.
Where?
They were just in there.
No. We found out who stole the tart.
We'll get Johnny Depp next time. No, he's done a fabulous job. Really good. Which is great, because he's been a bit mad behind the scenes. This is quite hard. Doing the theatrical performance and a hog roast, and you know, it's just again we're entering territory that we haven't been in before. I think people are a bit kind of like, what have we come to?
Maybe we've shocked a few people tonight, maybe.
But with 35 guests, each paying €25 a head, the party has been a success, and it means that the themed evening can be rolled out over the rest of the summer. Unfortunately for Alice.
Wouldn't that be nice? If you go to sleep like the real Alice and then you just, all of it's just a dream.
In the village of Gayacheruiak, it's an important day for British vineyard owners Sue and Humphrey Templey. They're launching a pop-up restaurant with a view overlooking their vineyard, and tonight they're having a trial run for 20 of their friends. Cook Matt is right in the middle of preparing the 5-course meal alongside partner Katie.
They are trusting me quite a lot with this first one, actually serving the public. Obviously, it's not only my reputation, but their reputation on the line. We really want to impress them. Katie, would you mind going outside and setting up? And I'll join you in a few minutes once I've finished topping and tail these beans.
This is a complete career change for Katie, who used to be a university lecturer and has no catering experience whatsoever.
I'm going knife, fork, knife even.
I'm going to put teaspoons on the plate so you don't need to worry about desserts.
What, they need an extra knife for cheese?
An extra knife at the top for cheese.
If the service goes well, it will provide a good source of income for these two expats. And Sue and Humphrey will profit from the sale of their wine.
Doing it at €15 per person, and that's with obviously people pay for the wine on top. So it is lower than we would normally be charging, but we think that it's only fair, you know, just to do an introductory price really.
Fingers crossed, if the weather stays like this, should be a good evening.
But Humphrey's first priority is his grapes.
In a way, I hope it does rain, because I could really do with some more rain for the vines.
And what will be the best wine to serve to his guests?
Just so you know what we're doing in the wine terms, we're charging our ordinary list price because we think it'd be unfair to charge anything more. So we're selling the Bergerac Rouge, which is the normal red, for £6. If people want an old red wine, then there's a very, very rich and very interesting 2003. And then there's our dark rosé that you know.
With just 4 hours to go before 20 hungry guests arrive, it's time to start preparing the dinner.
I know that this is lavender. I think it's lavender. Some rosemary to go with something. Matthew, what's this rosemary going with?
The rosemary's going with the shallots for the duck.
On the menu tonight, an amuse-bouche of fried meatballs, a goat's cheese salad for starter, and confit of duck for main. Plus Matt's expensive oyster hors d'oeuvres.
So it's very much changeable. It's not a menu that we're going to keep throughout the summer. Every week it's going to be slightly different and tweaked with the food that's complementing the wines in the vineyards. I don't think you can really get a better concept than that.
And for pudding, Matt has gone for a French classic, crème brûlée.
So the crème brûlées, I've made a couple of mistakes with them. I'm getting a bit nervous about them not setting. So hopefully they're still going to be all right, but they're taking a little bit longer than I was expecting. Got about 3.5 hours to go. So although I would like to be more prepped up than I am, we're actually not too far behind. With Katie's help, I'm sure we're going to have no trouble getting there.
But Matt's now got 40 live oysters to open, and he's struggling.
I'm trying to get this knife in, but I'm a bit out of practice. And I'm trying not to slip, because it goes straight through my hand. That one's going to stay alive. Got that one. Yeah, it's not a job that can be rushed, really.
Fortunately, Humphrey is happy to help.
Do you need an expert help on oysters, do you?
Not as easy as it looks. Well, it doesn't actually look that easy. Looks good? Yeah. Perfect. Can we just scrape it?
Phew, the oysters are ready. And just in time. With the guests arriving, service needs to begin, and the oysters are first up.
I think they're all not too sure, but hopefully once they've gone down, they'll appreciate them.
The oysters aren't going down quite as well as Matt had hoped.
Yummy!
It means that he's now under pressure to impress with the rest of his feast. In Duchessa, wannabe captain Jerry Ferguson's run of bad luck had left him locked in the boatyard. Help! Now, having freed himself, he's determined to get his new business back on track. But he has one final hurdle to clear. Jerry already owns a captain's licence, but the size of Fatam means that he will have to earn a new licence to carry up to 10 passengers. So he's now enrolled on a 3-day course to put all his nautical skills to the test.
I need the qualifications to take us a wee bit further on Fatam. There's no one in more of a rush than I am.
It's the beginning of September, and it's vital that Jerry completes the course and successfully passes the final exam if he wants to make the most of the remaining summer trade. He'll be taking the course with several other students, but with 40 years sailing experience already under his belt, he's quietly confident.
Hey Jerry, what are you doing on this boat? You already know most of the stuff.
I've been involved in boats back in the UK since I was 9, 10, 11, 12. The only thing is you need a certificate here if you want to hire a boat, or else you want to hire on reward if you want to earn money off it. I could give you a lift to the airport as a friend, but if I charge you, I'm a taxi and I need to have the certificate to do that.
The course starts with a refresher about marine knots. It should be a breeze for Jerry.
This is a bowline.
It's a bowline.
This is either for attaching to the cleat on the boat, or a bollard, which are the black posts on the wall.
Give us a shot at that. I have never seen that done that way before. Never seen it done that way before. Right, I'm going to get an arse to this, I know I am.
Jerry's a little out of practice.
Do it again, Phil.
This is actually an inverted bowline. Right, what you've got to do, this one here.
Get it underneath, over the top, and under. Top. Right. That one there.
No, around the other side.
We can take those.
There.
Right through the left.
Right. Go.
Right through the
Right
left.
through the left, then down. Right, OK, got it. Right through the left, yeah.
It'll be teacher Philip who will decide if Jerry can upgrade his licence and take out Fatam for business. As far as he's concerned, the jury's still out.
He says he's got a lot of experience, yeah? We'll soon find out, won't we? He seems to be learning a lot anyway, so I think that's the main thing. Well done. When you go into the gear, yeah, just do the click, and that's it. So there's no lag or whatever, yeah.
Jerry's next task is to prove he can moor the boat alongside the harbour wall.
Okay, so your job then is to bring us alongside.
Starboard side on.
Starboard side. You've got the 3 black bollards, so we want to go in between number 2 and 3.
Bringing the boat alongside the harbour requires the collaboration of Jerry's fellow students, but his first attempt isn't going well.
We're not doing very well, are we?
No, we are not.
Look at the position of the boat now.
No.
And Jerry's frustration is already beginning to show.
Roger! Pull it in. Pull the rope in. I shout, I raised my voice.
What's happening?
I raised my voice.
It's down to the skipper to be cool and calm.
I did shout twice.
And keep the boat there.
At the 3rd attempt, Jerry finally manages to moor the boat successfully.
He's got to work on his control of the vessel. He's obviously got away with it over the years. What we need to do is to get him in full control so he knows where the vessel is and it's stationary when we're bringing it alongside, rather than relying on the crew to stop the boat.
But Jerry's still getting hot under the collar.
Roger! Oh, for God's sake.
A little bit short-tempered. He started to swear at his crew. Well, I think we've done remarkably well today, considering.
Must try harder.
Must try harder.
Jerry hasn't exactly shone. There are now only 2 days left for him to make an impression and then a final exam to take.
If he shouts and screams, then it makes everybody else a bit uneasy as well. But so if you can keep calm, then everybody else is calm and they enjoy it.
But will Jerry manage to get the licence he so desperately needs?
Early days yet, so we'll find out. Day 1, isn't it? So it's a huge improvement from the start. So yeah, we'll see what happens here.
Just more precise on the boat, that's all.
Finesse. That's all he needs.
Yeah.
Finesse.
Finesse. Phil, you have the patience of a saint.
In the Dordogne, it's a big day for Sue and Humphrey Temperley's Vineyard. They've decided to expand their business by opening a restaurant overlooking the vines.
Yeah, you don't very often get a meal in a setting like this.
20 customers have turned up for the restaurant's first service, with mixed reviews for the oysters. After an amuse-bouche of fried meatballs, Matt serves up his goat's cheese and beetroot salad starter.
The starter was lovely, and I mean, the goat's cheese was delicious, but the winner was the beetroot bit, actually. I loved the beetroot with the salad.
But all's not well in the kitchen. There's been a miscommunication between Chef Matt and rookie waitress Katie, and now Matt's behind with his service.
Yes, I'm still having to train Katie a bit because she's just cleared the plates outside and I'm not quite ready on main courses. Really important that you tell me what's going on out there, because if I see you've just cleared...
Well, I'm telling you. I thought they'd finished.
Yeah, the best thing to do is tell me before you do it, and then I can be ready.
Luckily, the guests are distracted.
Beautiful weather and the views and the atmosphere is unbeatable. And as an added bonus, the weather in England is terrible.
After a mad rush in the kitchen...
It's very time critical, this, because obviously I don't have any hot lights like you'd normally have in a restaurant, and I want to make sure that everybody gets the food in its best condition. So just have to go at double speed, really.
It's time to serve the main course.
Pan-fried roasted duck. We've got a potato and duck confit croquette. Ooh. We've got confit shallot and carrots and peas and a cherry and red wine sauce.
The main course is absolutely delicious. The little croquette thing with the potato and the confit inside was absolutely delicious.
Fantastic job, really good.
And it's not just the food that's going down a storm.
Humphrey's had a word with me and he said so far that he's doing well on the wine. I think people are trying lots of different wines, it's really good. From what I can see, there's a good dozen bottles out there, so I'm sure Humphrey will be happy.
Time for the final course of the day, creme brulee with brownies.
So I'm going to try and flip this out, and if things go according to plan, they should all just pop out quite nicely without falling apart. Luckily, we've got some on the outside which are definitely ready. So I think we're going to get enough there. So they are very light.
So delicious.
Going 10 out of 10.
The evening has ended with great reviews for the first service.
I'm really pleased with how the night's gone. A couple of little issues along the way, which we're definitely going to learn from. It all tasted the way I wanted it to, and it took about 2 hours to serve 5 courses, so that was pretty much on target. Happy with that.
And although Matt blew his shopping budget on oysters, the event still made a profit of €270. A great result.
From the starter to the duck, and finally the puddings just blew everyone away. I mean, nobody worried about anything because the food was so amazing, and so I think you should take a big plan.
For Humphrey and Sue, this is clearly a viable business plan. And it's not long before the Vineyard reaps more rewards.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you again. We've come for some more of your fantastic wine.
Today, some of the customers are back.
The food was fantastic, but the wine is what brought us back.
The whole evening was superb. We really enjoyed it. And the Malbec was sold on me, really. Right, it was superb. So we'd like some more if possible.
They bought some wine at the end of the meal, and then they're coming back again a couple of days later to restock. That's exactly the model I'd like to establish.
This is a great result for Sue and Humphrey. The restaurant has given their vineyard another vital source of income, which will secure their future in their stunning new home.
And we've probably increased our customer base by 25% as a result of the pop-ups already, and who knows what it will lead to in the future.
Next time, as the summer comes to an end,
It's been absolutely bloody awful, but brilliant as well.
Joe and Alice
Clean, clean, clean. I've already mopped the floor twice.
face up to some very tricky guests.
Run your finger across the top of the board.
It's all right. She's not going to do that, though, right?
Does anybody do that, do you think?
They do on the telly.
Will wannabe Captain Jerry
Man overboard! Man overboard. Something to indicate for me, please.
get his licence before the tourists go home?
You've got to keep you calm. Keep your wits about you.
And at the end of a week of hard grafting and spending,
We are down to our last couple of euro.
will this unusual B&B get the thumbs up from its first guests?
If we don't get the accommodation right, if we don't get the people here, we have no income and we have nothing.